Hey folks, thanks for joining us on another BGE Collective summary video for September 2017. I am Jason Froud and I'll be your host. Okay, so to get on, before we get to the good stuff, let's get to what this video is super late, and I apologize for that. I've had such a lot of PC problems over the last couple of weeks, and I'm finally getting there where I can get some more videos back put up on the channels and get some content out there for you guys to check out. So before we get to what the guys have been doing over the last month or so gaming wise, I want to talk about a couple of things that have been happening over the last month, competition wise, things like that. So the first thing, because of the lateness of this video, some of the competitions that were relevant when I was supposed to do this video have now passed. For example, we had a competition for Fire Team Zero, which was won by Eric Ziegler, I think it is. He's been contacted and he's very happy with his prize. We also had a code that you could buy, Quirk. Quirk is a little fun party sort of family game, mixed between charades and Go Fish. It's a great game. It's been through the BGE. Everyone loves it in the BGE. So we had a promotional code where you could get a copy of this for 30% off. That unfortunately is also finished now. But all those who grabbed a copy, well done. And hopefully we can do some more of these sort of coupon things in the future. What else did we have? We also got a tiny epic quest. This is my copy here, but if you're interested in winning a deluxe copy of this, you can go check out the Facebook page, and I'll put a link in the show notes below, where you can enter a competition to win a copy of this. And hopefully we can have, as soon as we get an opportunity, we're going to stick competitions up on the channel, up on the Facebook page, and you can have opportunity to win games and other cool stuff as well. We also had a great feedback from Jamie Stegmeyer from Stonemaier Games, because we had a Stonemaier Spotlight, which you'll see in the summary section of the video where we talk about all the games that we've been reviewing. You'll notice there's a lot of Stonemaier games, and the reason for that is we've been sort of focusing on that for this last month and a half to 2 months, and he gave a great little comment, feedback on how the exposure is working, and that was brilliant. And because of that, we felt really chuffed, so we gave a couple of games away to some of the people from the UK Trade and Chat Facebook page. So we gave away a copy of Gondola, and we gave a copy of Unearth. So the winners of that competition was David Lloyd, who won Gondola, and Lloyd Winchester Gold, who won Unearth. So that was good fun. I really enjoyed that. I did it really old school as well, where I printed out all the names and cut them out and drew them out of the box. Got my sons to help me, so that was really cool. And hopefully we'll do some more stuff like that in the future. The other thing I wanted to mention quickly, and I don't want to focus too much on this, is we've opened a Patreon account where people can support us. And the reason for this is obviously we get lucky enough to get a lot of games come through the BGE where we have to send it around to the 4, 5, 6 of us times, and that obviously racks up postage costs. So this is a way that people can support us, but we want to give back as well. So what we're going to do is, at the end of every month, in the summary video, I'll announce a random Patreon supporter who's pledged $5 or more will win one of the review copies that we have for you guys. So that's just another way that you can help us, but that can keep reviewing. So that would be cool. Alright, so enough of all this. Let's get to the games that we've played. So I'm going to start with Mark this month, and he's from More Hittex Reviews. He's got a Facebook page which you can check out in the link below, or you can check us out on our BGE Facebook page, where you can speak to Mark and get some information of him if you want. He's reviewed 8 games this month. One was Viticulture, obviously part of the Stonemaier Spotlight. He also did Wreck and Ruin. I've got a copy of Wreck and Ruin here, but the box is just a box, so there's no point showing you, so I'll just show you a picture of what it looks like. He's also reviewed Quirk, as one of our favourites from the month. We also did Between Two Cities and Champion of the Wild. That, by the time I recorded this, should just be finishing on Kickstarter, or has just finished. That's another social interaction game. He's also done Tribes, an Early Civilization, and he's passed this on to me. so I can have a look at it. And I'm really looking forward to having a look at this. This is from Tea Time Productions. It looks really good. Civ building game. And then also he's had a look at the basic game of Codenames. And then a game that was on Kickstarter that's finished now and unfortunately didn't fund, but they will be coming back next year, and that's called Into the Black Boarding Party. So you can see Mark's a crazy reviewer. He gets through a lot of games, and he's got a lot more coming up this month. So keep a lookout for him. For myself, I also did Viticulture. Obviously Viticulture is a great game. I think Mark was saying that was his favourite game of the month last month. Such a good game. I too did Quirk. I did this with my family on my little night segments. It was really good fun. I really enjoyed that. I was quite surprised at how much I enjoyed it. I also had a look at Into the Black Boarding Party. I did a gameplay video for that. So if you were interested to see what it was about, you can go check it out. And I know James is going to be using the videos and Mark's reviews, and we're going to pass that on to Nick as well, so they can use that in the future when they come back. We had a look at Between Two Cities with the Capitals expansion. That was really good. Really enjoyed that. I love it, Between Two Cities. We had a look at Unearth. We did a gameplay video for that as well. And Euphoria. I've not played Euphoria for a long time, so it was good to get that to the table again. I really enjoyed that a lot. And I'm looking forward to, there might be talk about an expansion coming out, maybe. And then I also had a look at Champions of the Wild, which I mentioned earlier was on Kickstarter. So that's me and Mark done. Obviously this is my channel, Gaming Nights. But if you want to have a look what Nick done, you can have a look at his video right here.
Hello, I'm Partin Mool, and this is a monthly recap from Board Deck and Dice, part of the Board Game Exposure Collective. So in September I had a very busy month. I looked at Stonemaier games, 3 out of their 4 games. The 4th is on its way to me. I looked at Between Two Cities, which I love. It's one of the games my wife will play. It's clever in that you're working with the person next to you, either side of you, both people, yet you want to beat both of them at the same time, and you can't screw over either one of them. So that's great. I love Between Two Cities. Very quick game. I had my first experience of Scythe and Viticulture, and they both rocketed up into my top 10 games of all time at this current moment. Viticulture is a tight worker placement game where the goals are clear and you're all trying to kind of do the same thing, which is harvest your grapes, crush them into wine and fulfill contracts. But it works really well with the blocking and the grande worker, which can go anywhere but doesn't get the bonuses that are available. The choices are just fantastic, and I'm told that once you add Tuscany to that, it gets even better, so I can't wait to play Tuscany either. And Scythe was just my sort of game. It really clicked with me. I love that action selection. I love you can improve your actions by manipulating your player board and the way the boards are recessed, so all the wood kind of fits in it, and then you move it down and make actions more efficient and cheaper. And then you go onto the board and you're vying for control, but it's not just in terms of battle, it's in terms of clever placement. You might not even fight, you might just scare people off. Love these games. I also was privileged to look at Flames and Frost, the expansion to Valeria Card Kingdoms, which in some ways just adds more, but when the more is so good, you don't mind. It essentially adds another half to the game. So once you add this set of cards, you've got one extra of everything. So you've got enough monsters that you can do a totally different monster lineup, domains. You've got added events, which came in one of the expansions, and citizens. You've got every numbered citizen added except for the 5 and 6, which always remain as a peasant and a knight. And it's just great. The new stuff added works well. It's not too heavy. It doesn't detract from the rest of the game. In fact, I think it makes me think about my choices even more. So brilliant. I'd also I got to look at 2 minor expansions, the little pack expansions they do. Peasants and Knights was my favourite. Even though it was the smallest expansion, it just changes the peasants and knights you can buy from the centre piles to have 2 icons, and that just makes them so much more useful and worth buying. I looked at 2 games from Osprey Games. I looked at Samurai Gardener and Zooball. Both, Zooball was very simple. I knew that going in, and I think the issue for me is kind of my family's moved on from that level of simplicity, so my 7-year-old son wants something a bit more. But if you want a quick, fast, simple dexterity game with good components, and the felt mat really helps them whiz, then it's good. It's just not necessarily new. So when you're looking at all the choices, you need to decide what you want. It's more of a sport feel than attacking the other pieces with your dexterity elements. Samurai Gardener, I had similar issues to what I had with Honshu, in that the first part of the game, how you get the cards into your possession, is the weakest part. It's basically speed reaction. You know, you say 1, 2, 3 and everyone slams onto a card. That is the worst part of the game for me. I still enjoyed it in some settings, but usually I would use drafting instead. Exactly the same as Honshu, really. The other part of the game, the placement, the scoring, is so much better than that first part of the game. And as other reviewers have pointed out, the Samurai and the Gardener is very zen, but the slapping is not very zen, so there's a bit of a mishmash. Lastly, I looked at a couple of Kickstarters, and that was Ox, an abstract game currently on Kickstarter, where you're just you've got a strip of leather with 2 strips of leather joined by wood, and you're trying to move your 8 pieces along. It looks like it might be a luck fest, but it really isn't. Most of the time, occasional games are going to be lucks, it has dice, but most of the time it's just solid strategy. Light level, but great, and that's on Kickstarter now. And also Forest of Fate, which is a choose-your-own-adventure book, wrapped in board game kind of settings. So it's mainly choose your own adventure, but you do get some board game stuff as well, and that worked really well, and it has funded really well on Kickstarter. So those are the things I've been looking at this month. I also did a brew tube about being a board game reviewer, and I released 2 of my New Gamer Old Gamer kind of, I dare say, comedy series is like less than a minute long videos. So if you want to check them out, that'd be great. Thanks very much. I've been Parting Mule, and here's my parting shot.
All right, Nick. Thanks for that. That was brilliant. I would highly recommend to go check out Nick's channel. He does some great reviews and segments, especially his BrewTube, and I really love the Old Gamer, New Gamer. That's really great. Just like a 90-second, 2-minute video. But it's a great little laugh, really enjoy it a lot. Nick's got a great sense of humour. On to our inglorious leader, Mr. Martin Poole. He's done a few reviews this month as well, and we're going to start with Champions of Midgard. He only did the base game, with the expansions out now. He also did Championship Formula Racing, and after that he did By Order of the Queen, and then Problem Picnic. And you can check all these reviews out on Zatu Publishing's, Zatu Games' website, and obviously there'll be a link below. He also had a go at Subterra from ITB Games. This is obviously on to me now, so I'm going to have a look at this next. And then what I would suspect was his game of the month. The way Martin talked about it, it sounded brilliant. It's a post-apocalyptic big heavy game called Fallen Land. Martin raved about that for most of the month, so I'm suspecting that'll be his favourite. And then he also did Sector 6. Alright, so those are the games that Martin did this month. Now we can have a look, listen to what Lindsay did. Let's have a look.
Hi everyone, it's Lindsay here, or as you might know me over social media, Shiny Happy Meeples. And I really enjoy doing these videos for board game exposure, because it's nice to look back on the month and see how many games I've played and do this little roundup. One of the first games that I reviewed in a short Kickstarter preview video was Outlaws. This was on Kickstarter. It's only just finished. It funded in spectacular fashion and did really well. So congrats to the guys at Holy Grail. But that was a really interesting, kind of almost hidden movement deduction game for 2 players only. So that's on my channel if you want to go and check that out and find out a little bit more about it. I also did a first thoughts video on Century Golem Edition. I really love it, and I kind of needed to do that video to get my thoughts out there, because I need to play a game a good few times to do a review, but sometimes I like to tell people what I thought of the game initially, and I really enjoyed Century Golem. I also talked about my favourite golems, because there's so much cute artwork in this game. So look out for possibly a review or podcast piece or video again soon. Jack's Friends. This is another one that I did a video on for my channel, a 5-minute review. This was introduced to me at Gen Con, and it's by a company called Piggy Bank Games. They're from Nebraska. I really love it. I don't know why, something about it just clicked with me. I really enjoyed playing it. I'm looking forward to the other guys at BGE playing this and seeing what they think as well. And if you want to check out a little bit more info on that, that's on my channel as well. The two big ones, Viticulture and Scythe. I was literally so thrilled to get these games and have the opportunity to play them, because both of them I kind of ummed and ahed about for a long time and hadn't really taken the next step as to playing them or buying them, but ones that I'd always seen so much of and heard so much of, and I was definitely interested. I covered Scythe for a podcast that I'm on bi-weekly. It's called The 5 By. There's a link to it on the BGE website from this week, and on that I talk about Scythe. So it's 5 minutes, I'll just discuss my thoughts on it. Little hint, I love it. And I'm so sad to give this back. I don't want to let it go, but I have to, because Mark, I believe, still has to review it. So, Viticulture, I actually posted a piece to my blog. And it's kind of difficult sometimes because there's already so much that's been said about these games. I always wonder, is there anything new I can bring to the table? And I think there is. So on my blog, shinyhappinessblog.wordpress.com, there is a post about it. So we received Colour Brain by Big Potato Games from London, so home turf for me as I'm living in London. It was a really fun one to unbox as well. It kind of was a clue as to how you play the game. There's a hand management game to do with words and colours, and I think that's really clever, and I'm going to be hopefully playing this soon and reviewing it. Head of Household is one that I got at Gen Con. I'm going to play it and review it this week, so watch out for a video on that coming soon. And Star Plus is a really interesting looking hand management game about star constellations, and this was sent to me by Sweet Lemon Publishing. We all got different games from Sweet Lemon, and this is one I chose because I like the theme and I like card games. So watch out for that coming soon as well. I hope you enjoyed my little piece here, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
And there we go. That's all the stuff we did this month. We got plenty more to come. We got loads and loads of games stacked up here and more coming in. Obviously it's Essen at the end of this month of October, and it's going to be chock-a-block full of games coming through there as well. I know Martin's going over to Essen, so if you're going to be there and you want to say hello, go hook him up. Other than that, I think there'll be loads more games coming over the next couple of months leading up to Christmas. Loads of Kickstarter games, so this month has been full of Kickstarter games. I'm already behind, so I need to get cracking on some more reviews and overviews and gameplay videos and all the good stuff. So thanks for watching, thanks for supporting us. Please come chat with us on the Facebook page, Board Game Exposure, and as usual there will be links in the description below. So see you guys at the table.